Today, we're once again talking about these stolen cards from Bowman Chrome 2023. And the reason why we're doing this is because despite the fact that it's 2025, many of these cards that were backdoored are still being sold on eBay with fake autos on them. Tops have stayed silent. Customers are unaware, which means customers are getting burned and scammed when they're going ahead and buying them. And I'm becoming, very tired of this story because nothing has really happened from Tops and it's completely unacceptable. And to do a quick recap before we jump into sort of the updates for today, this is a story that came up in 2023 that I sort of started doing some videos on, and it came, through posts like this from Cinderella Man, and then I ended up doing a bunch of videos where, about 6 months before the release of Bowman Chrome 2023, maybe it was a little bit less than that, a bunch of parallels for certain players showed up on the secondary market, right? They were showing up on, eBay pages and forum posts about, how do these cards get out in the public, and what these cards were short-numbered parallels from Tops without the autographs being on them, which was really sketchy and really dubious and sort of made you think, okay, were they stolen? Were they backdoored? Are they fakes? Are they copies? Are they duplicates? What the heck is going on? And what sort of transpired was that we found out through my research, and I did a bunch of videos. Again, you guys can reference these after this video, but these cards were all dumped at a single local card store. And it just so happened to be that LCS was where spring training was held that year. And what the theory is that these cards were taken by someone to spring training to get signed by the athletes, and then somebody decided to sell them and then dump them to a local card store. And where things got particularly interesting is that these things started to flood the market, but then when the product actually released, people noticed that these cards that showed up, like these gold parallels, these orange parallels out of 25 for certain athletes that were in these images, right, 6 months before the product's release, weren't showing up in the product itself. And there was no footage, images of people actually pack pulling these cards, which raised a heck of a lot of questions, because not only did you have fake cards out there, or not fake cards, stolen cards out there with fake autos on them, they weren't replaced by Tops. So Tops were essentially selling a product with an inaccurate checklist, right? Cards missing from that checklist, which, is a huge can of worms that we never really got a response on. And sort of the way we came to that conclusion is because people started creating Reddit threads tracking these hits, right? They saw that these cards were missing. They saw that they were, showed up 6 months before the product's release. They wanted to say, hey, who is missing from the product, who has actually seen these pack pulled. And what this spreadsheet shows is that a number of these athletes never made it into the product. And maybe they were replaced with other athletes. We don't really have the answer on that because Tops didn't come out and say anything. But one of those ones that is incredibly frustrating because people are getting scammed off the back of it. Number one, people are going ahead and buying the product, not knowing that there's athletes in there that are actually missing. And number two, people going on eBay and buying these cards because they think they're from Bowman Chrome, but people have taken the backdoored cards and put a fake auto on them. That's exactly what we saw over here with this Nelson Rada story that basically kicked off the whole story. And the way we sort of know that these autographs are fake is because these were the cards that showed up, like I said, without autographs 6 months before the product's release. The autographs look very different to Nelson Rada's traditional autographs. And myself and a few others actually spoke to him on Instagram via DMs that I've shown in previous videos, and he confirmed that that was in fact not his autograph. And the other key point here is the one imaged autograph is a lot thicker than the other ones too. Meaning a different pen was used. And I sort of go into that detail in all these videos. So go ahead and check it out if you want to understand a bit more. The reason why we're talking about it again today is because these cards are still showing up on eBay. This is a post from 2 days ago from Auburn35, where somebody did a few Instagram stories highlighting that these things are still showing up. These cards were the ones that were backdoored. These don't look like Nelson Rada's legitimate autos. What the heck is going on? How can you allow these things to continue to be sold, without coming out and saying something? Do something about it, right? You've got these cards ending up at Beckett slabs because on the back of the cards, it says the autograph was authenticated by Tops, even though Tops didn't actually authenticate these because they made it into the public's hands without autographs on them. And one of those ones just gets worse and worse. And we've not heard anything from Tops. We've basically heard sweet F all. And I've touched on this, multiple times in the last 2 years. I've got 5 or 6 videos here. I've tried to get in touch with Tops and we've had radio silence from them. And it's incredibly frustrating because not only do you have cards getting stolen that they're not aware of, they're making it into the public eye. People are putting fake autos on them, so people are buying them, they're getting scammed. But these things are then make it into Beckett slabs, which then Beckett say, you know what, it's a Tops autograph, it's great. Somebody goes ahead and pays top dollar for it. And again, it's fake. Like, how can you be comfortable as a business sort of allowing your customers to get burned with that? And, I'd be shocked if Tops didn't hear about this because some of my videos actually got decent views and got some good traction online. But my bigger question goes back to the product itself. These things didn't make it into Bowman Chrome. So what did you replace them with? And if you didn't replace them, how did you go ahead and sell a product with missing cards in it, right? You've basically told people, this is the checklist, this is what you can get. And everything you can see here that's in a yellow highlight are cards that were missing. They never made it into the product at least based on all the people watching breaks and trying to track these things. That's a huge red flag, and one that, you know, could be a significant issue for Topps in terms of, you know, what it means for their ability to sell product. Like, is the MLB okay with this, you know, sort of happening, right? You're selling a product to consumers that doesn't have everything within it. And if they did in fact replace these things, they haven't really communicated it. So how does the general public know that they sort of circumvented the process and fixed it? We don't. And that's another problem, right? That this whole thing is just ridiculous to me that we've not heard anything. And, you know, you've got Ben Burrows over here who works for Collect, who I've referenced before on the channel. Collect is that, you know, hobby newspaper that's basically run by Darren Ravel. And he said he's forwarded this to the right people. Now, my response to him is what you're sort of seeing on screen right now. Did you get a response? Because this has been a known issue since the product's release, actually since before the product got released. I don't know why I said that. And these aren't the only ones backdoored. And again, I say over here, the bigger issue is that none of these cards have been seen pulled from the packs, implying that not only were they stolen, but the checklists are inaccurate. So I'm really interested to see whether Topps replied to him. Now, I communicate with Ben on Instagram, so I'm going to get in touch with him and try and see if he's got a response on this. Because, like I said, we've been talking about this for bloody 2 years. It's been over 2 years. Go ahead, watch these videos. I go into it in detail. I show the fake cards. I show the comparisons to the autographs. I show all the other cards missing. There's other athletes as well, like this one over here. I don't recall the name. Let's bring it up and look at my ugly mug on screen while we click through it. But yeah, it completely, you know, unacceptable. Yanni Fernandez, another one with a fake autograph, which is the same sort of thickness as we see with the Nelson Rada. Again, these things floating around for over 2 years and we've heard nothing about it. Like, this is so old. My old channel logo is still there. This video was posted when? July 12th, 2023. It's over 2 years old, this story. And we're still not scratched the surface on Topps being able to resolve it. Like, this stuff is just bullshit to me. I don't understand how, you know, this stuff can be allowed to happen. I don't get why, you know, this stuff does not gain traction. Like, how are we not seeing more pushback when it comes to things like this? It goes back to my story, you know, a couple of days ago. Let's see if I can find it now on screen, about the whole Lionel Messi fake autos and people sitting back and saying, well, Daniel, what do you want Topps to do? They're not going to come out and make a statement. They're just going to replace them for people. This is the problem, right? This story here with this 2023 Bowman Chrome, them doing nothing then has led to this issue with Messi. Like, guys, pull your heads in, push back on this crap. Right? Topps need to be doing better. This stuff is unacceptable. The fact that these things get stolen and be sold to people, they can get scammed at the back of it because they think they're getting a good deal. Next minute, nobody wants to buy that card because the autograph is fake, let alone the product itself having missing cards in it being sold to the general public. That's insane to me. And this is that Messi video that I was referring to where, you know, some of these Messi cards are being replaced because PSA don't want to authenticate them. PSA is saying they're fake. Topps are replacing them. But what Topps are basically doing through that process is they're not communicating that they're replacing them. They're just saying, hey, if you submit to PSA and PSA say they're not happy, we're going to replace it for you. But my thought process is come out and make a statement and say, guys, you stuffed up. These things are, you know, inaccurate. We don't think they're genuine. We're going to replace them all. Like, why are they not doing that? Because they don't want to do it, right? They could do it if they want to, but they don't want to do it. And them staying silent here is the same reason why they're staying silent on this whole 2023 Bowman Chrome crap. So anyway, guys, I've rambled for 8 minutes. Do apologize. Let me know your thoughts down below. This story is just insane. These things are still being sold on eBay, right? There's a number of sold listings there that I was showing a bit earlier. Cards selling for hundreds of dollars, right? Poor people out there are getting burned off the back of this. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. You can see here, $200, $50. There's some sold listings over here that I clicked on the wrong image now. $560, $300. Like, this is insane. So many of these cards did not make it into the product, yet they're being sold because somebody went ahead and whacked a fake auto on there. Like, guys, be very careful where you're spending your money. Do your research and you'll be fine. But we need to push back. Like, this is not negative. Me trying to say, hey, Topps, you've released a product with missing cards in it is not a bad thing. I shouldn't get pushback for that. And I have for the last 2 years with these videos in particular, because I'm like, get over it. Get over what? Like, you got a business here, a multi-billion-dollar business ripping you off as a consumer. You want me to get over it? Like, do what's fucking expected of you as a business. Look after your customers. This stuff is not okay. You can push back on Topps and still like their product, guys. Like, you don't have to pick a side. This is not something you pick a side on. Tell them you want them to be better. They fix it, and then you don't get this bullshit happening. You don't get this bullshit with this messy stuff. They need to be better. This is not good enough. And I'm sick and tired of people sitting back and saying, well, at least it's better than the Panini hero. Like, that does not make it okay. Just because Panini sucks doesn't mean Topps get away with sucking too. Like, pull your bloody heads in. It is what it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.